Traut man den US-Medien, dann hat sich Israel bereits festgelegt, seinen Gegenschlag gegen den Iran im Laufe dieser Woche durchzuführen. Offen wird darüber spekuliert, ob die iranischen Nuklearanlagen ins Visier genommen werden oder nicht. Der israelische Verteidigungsminister hatte vergangene Woche betont, Israels Angriff werde tödlich, treffsicher und überraschend sein. Mit welchem Ausmaß des israelischen Gegenschlags rechnest du und kann der Iran seinen Luftraum ausreichend verteidigen, um etwa einen Angriff auf seine Nuklearanlagen abzufangen?
Iran's a big country, and the defense of Iranian airspace is a very, very difficult proposition. Any nation possessing modern intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance capabilities like Israel, backed up by the United States, will be able to find gaps in air defense coverage and exploit those gaps. And with the element of surprise, Israel should be able to hit any target it wants to hit inside Iran. It won't be able to hit a lot of targets inside Iran, though. That's a problem. Iran, like I said, is a very big country. But none of this matters, you see, because if Israel hits Iran, Israel disappears. And that's really the debate that needs to be had right now in Israel. I think there's a feeling in Israel that if they provoke Iran to strike Israel with a major retaliatory strike, that the United States will feel compelled to join in on the side of Israel. But this is a miscalculation. One, on the eve of an election where the Democratic candidate is struggling. The idea of the United States joining a war that is highly unpopular in support of Israeli actions in Gaza, which many have called genocidal in nature. No one can see the videos emerging from Gaza in the aftermath of the most recent attack on refugee camps, where a family literally burns to death in front of our eyes, and not understand how low the opinion of Israel is here in the United States and around the world. Israel is literally playing with fire. And this is the calculation that needs to be had, and it's incumbent upon the Biden administration to make clear to Israel what the consequences of a large-scale retaliatory strike against Iran that targets nuclear facilities, oil facilities, or leadership in military facilities. Iran has said it has zero tolerance for any actions. My understanding is that Iran may have been engaged in back-channel dialogue with the United States using an intermediary, where they had indicated that a small Israeli retaliatory strike limited to purely military targets might not precipitate a major Iranian retaliation. But then the United States leaked this to the press, and Iran has said that it has cut off all of these negotiations. So, I think it's clear that if Iran is attacked, Iran will retaliate. They have threatened at least an initial salvo of 1,000 missiles. They can back that up with a follow-on salvo of an additional 1,000 missiles, and perhaps continue this until Israel is no more. So that's where we're at right now. I see the Israeli posturing is the act of a desperate person. It's like somebody posing at the weigh-in before a championship fight, knowing that they haven't trained, they haven't prepared, they're fat, they're overweight, and they're going to get whipped by the champion who's staring at them across, who's not posing, simply saying, I am here to fight. Iran is staring at Israel, saying, we are here to fight. Israel's posing. That's that.
Am Sonntag drangen israelische Panzer in eine Basis von UN-Blauhelm-Soldaten im Libanon ein. Zuvor hatte der israelische Premierminister Benjamin Netanjahu UN-Generalsekretär Antonio Guterres aufgefordert, die Blauhelm-Soldaten aus dem Libanon abzuziehen, da diese angeblich als Schutzschilde für Hisbollah-Terroristen fungieren. Er sprach davon, dass andernfalls die Leben der Soldaten in Gefahr seien. In den vergangenen Tagen wurden bereits mehrere Blauhelm-Soldaten durch israelischen Beschuss verletzt. Welches Signal sendet Netanjahu damit an die Vereinten Nationen und an die Weltöffentlichkeit? Würde Israel tatsächlich den Tod von Blauhelm-Soldaten in Kauf nehmen?
Israel has a history of disrespecting the United Nations and of attacking United Nations peacekeepers in Lebanon, killing many in the past. Israel will continue this practice. As long as the United States is sitting at the Security Council of the United Nations, it's highly unlikely the United Nations will take any action against Israel. The precedent, however, is there. One remembers when the Bosnian Serbs attacked United Nations peacekeepers in Bosnia during the Bosnian Civil War in the 1990s. The United States and NATO intervened with military force to destroy Bosnian Serb positions. This is really what should happen with Israel if they continue to threaten United Nations forces. Israeli forces in Lebanon should be attacked and destroyed by the United States, by the United Nations, under United Nations authority, by NATO, by their neighbors. This is the international community that's acting in Lebanon at the behest of not of the Secretary General, but of the Security Council. These peacekeepers are in Lebanon because of a Chapter 6 resolution passed by the Security Council authorizing their presence. So this is an affront against the entire world that Israel is carrying out. And left unchecked, it basically creates the conditions for anarchy and chaos, not just in the region, but around the world, because the United Nations will literally stand for nothing. This is one of those, existential moments for an organization like the United Nations, where it must stand up and defend itself and knock back down and insist on the international community coming to its defense.
Das US-Verteidigungsministerium meldete jüngst, dass US-Truppen nach Israel verlegt werden. Ihre Aufgabe wird es sein, das Raketenabwehrsystem THAAD, Terminal High Altitude Area Defense, zu bedienen, das Israel zur Verfügung gestellt werden soll. US-Präsident Joe Biden betonte, Washington habe keine Pläne oder Absichten, US-Stiefel auf dem Boden in den Kampf zu schicken. Was sagt das aus über den vielgepriesenen Iron Dome und das israelische Luftabwehrsystem Arrow 3? Wenn nun ein US-System installiert wird? Und sollen die US-Soldaten tatsächlich nicht an Kampfhandlungen teilnehmen? Schließlich werden sie das THAAD-System bedienen. Oder dienen sie primär als Schutzschilde gegen einen iranischen Angriff?
Well, first of all, this isn't the first time that the THAAD system has been deployed to Israel. It was deployed once, I believe, in 2019 as part of military exercises. It was deployed again in October of 2023 in the aftermath of the Hamas attack, and it's now being deployed again. Where it's being deployed is a location near Nevatim Air Base. Nevatim Air Base is the principal receiving point in Israel for American military assistance. The flights that America flies into Israel bringing arms, etc., come through Nevatim. And so the THAAD system is there to protect Nevatim Airfield and keep it open so the United States can continue to provide Israel with weapons supplies. That's the purpose of it. But the United States has integrated other systems into Israel's defense in both Operation True Promise 1 and True Promise 2. Aegis class destroyers and cruisers were thoroughly integrated into the Israeli defense shield using their own anti-missile capabilities and their radars. The United States flew aircraft that likewise were used to intercept missiles and drones, etc. So it's nothing new to have this capability. We've deployed air defense capabilities to Israel consistently since 1991, when the first American manned Patriot batteries were sent during the Gulf War to protect Israel from Iraqi Scud missiles. We redeployed those Patriot capabilities in 1994. Then we sent them back in 2003. So the United States has been in the business of protecting Israeli airspace for some time now. And again, to say that American troops won't be engaged in combat is a lie, because we already have been engaged in combat. Just in Operation True Promise 2, the United States Navy admits that 12 SM-3 missiles were launched against Iranian missiles. That's combat operations. American fighter aircraft were shooting down and engaging Iranian missiles. That's combat operations. So it's absurd. Of course, our troops will be engaged in combat. I think what the president was trying to say is that we won't be engaged in offensive combat against Iran. But again, if Israel attacks Iran and Iran's response is overwhelming and devastating to Israel, the United States, the Israeli calculations, the United States will have no choice but to, attack Iran to retaliate against, the Iranian actions. So it's a very dangerous situation. Again, I would just ask the question, where is Congress? Where's the United States Congress in all of this? Has there been deliberations? Has Congress convened an emergency session? Is Congress debating this right now? Has Congress made a decision for the United States to go to war against Iran? And the answer is no. And so we have to wonder just what the heck is going on here.
Kannst du bitte ins Detail gehen? Wie leistungsfähig ist das Raketenabwehrsystem THAAD? Kann es die iranischen Hyperschallraketen abfangen und damit Israel einen zuverlässigen Schutz bieten?
The THAAD is a system that's been in development and has been around for a while. It's not a new system. When it was conceived and tested, it never was conceived and tested against a hypersonic missile threat, and it was never conceived and tested against hypersonic missile threat that came in a salvo that overwhelmed the system. The THAAD system is incapable of stopping an Iranian missile attack. It may have success against one or two missiles, but it will not have any success against the kind of large-scale attack that Iran has shown itself capable of. And it cannot defend against a hypersonic weapon system. The Iranians have missiles with separating warheads, maneuvering warheads, accelerating warheads, warheads to deploy decoys. The THAAD cannot defend against this. Nothing can defend against this. So Israel is defenseless. This is a political gesture being made by the United States. It's virtually meaningless because anybody who knows anything about missiles understands that the THAAD will not change the overall balance of power.
Liebe Zuschauer, wenn euch unsere Beiträge gefallen, teilt sie unbedingt in den sozialen Medien. Abonniert unseren Kanal und drückt auf die Glocke, damit ihr keine Veröffentlichung von Gegenpol verpasst.